So most of us are accustomed to staring at, let's say, a screen typical of like a Samsung Galaxy S5 or something around that model. This screen is 5.1 inches. It's more than, it's plenty big to live with on a daily basis and do all our social media work and whatnot. Moving on to something like a tablet, if you're comfortable with something like that, it's the Nexus 7, it's my daughter's Nexus 7, and the difference between going from a 5.1 to a 7 is staggering, right? I mean, it's 2 inches, but there's a huge difference when you start talking in terms of screen size and screen real estate and just holding it and the experience you get with that. So you wouldn't really think that the difference between going, let's say, from a Nexus 7 to an iPad mini would be that much of a difference, but in essence it really is. Even just moving up that inch and then changing the resolution. The resolution on this is something totally different than the Nexus. This is more towards what they call the Retina display or the IPS display. It's like a 2560 something or another. And again, the screen real estate, is the difference between that is enormous, right? Just moving from 1 inch to 7 inches to 8 inches. When you start moving into something like an iPad, which is close to 10 inches, okay, or the 9.7, 9.1, whatever it was, as big as that is, moving from, let's say, a 7 inch to a 10, I mean, that's a huge difference. You wouldn't think that moving up to just another inch would make that much of a difference. But a Nexus 10, you can actually see the difference. And mind you, the iPad is in a case, so you have more of a bezel there. But that difference is quite large, okay? So today, the whole point of all of this is my Samsung Galaxy 12 came in. And as you would guess, it is 12 inches. This thing is enormous. And the difference between moving from a Nexus 10, which I live off of, and now going to a 12 is staggering. I knew it would be a difference. I didn't realize how much of a difference though. It's booting up right now. But if you could see that, it is huge. But for some reason it kind of makes sense. I was a little nervous that this thing would be too big. But it's super, super thin. I don't think it's thinner than a Nexus, but it's suitably thin, if that makes sense. The display is breathtaking. I mean, there's no comparison. Even though spec-wise, from the difference from this and the Nexus on the charts, display-wise, it's all very similar. Processing speed and whatnot, I'm not even going to get into any of that because this blows everything out of the water. It's brand new and it's apples and oranges. I can't compare something that's brand new like this all the way back to, let's say, an iPad 1, which is still a suitable, really well-made unit here. But when considering moving from one phone to another or moving from one tablet to another, that difference of 1 inch or half an inch is way bigger than you could possibly imagine. You don't really see it or feel it until you actually have it in your hands and you experience it. I know moving from a Galaxy 3 to a Galaxy 5, the difference I think was 4.7 to 5.1. And the difference was huge. And I didn't really feel it in my hand too much, just the screen real estate, the way everything was laid out, the ease on the eyes, it's enormous. Look at the difference between the phone and the tablet. It's enormous. But it just kind of makes sense the way this thing is put together. It's really well made. And I thought the 12-inch would be kind of gimmicky. I don't think I can go back to a 10-inch tablet, to be honest with you. This is really nice. If anyone else has one of these, let me know what your thoughts are. As you can see, I'm a bit of an electronics junkie, and I've got my gizmos and gadgets. I mean, this is my wife's, this is my old tablet. I'm selling these two. My kids have their own tablets and so on and so forth. But yeah, we've established a collection of gadgets here. And it's funny when you line them all up and you can kind of see the evolution of how this all works and plays out. I don't know. I don't know if one day I'm going to have a 15-inch tablet in my hand, or is this more than enough? I mean, as of now, this is plenty. It's way more than enough, and I could easily live with this. Will it replace my desktop? No, never. There are things on my desktop my tablet can't do or won't do, and it won't be a while until we get to that point. But for now, for going back and forth and doing my studies and whatnot while I'm on the road and doing some work, I mean, this thing's going to be brilliant. So, yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. If you have any questions, feel free. I'll gladly help you out.